Hello, this is Dr. Christian Spanish-Schmidt, and this is my EKG course. This is the EKG, the basics, and this time we're going to talk about heart rate. I am a hospitalist at the Denver Hospital and core faculty of the internal medicine program. So as my last video, these are concepts that we need to remember. Remember that the horizontal plane or axis in the paper of the EKG registers the time. So the paper runs at a constant velocity of 25 millimeters per second. So 1 millimeter, it's gonna equal 0.04 seconds, and 5 millimeters, 0.20 seconds, or 200 milliseconds. So if you know this and you can do the summatory or the progression from this, you will be able to figure out the time in between any phenomena that is being registered in the EKG. For example, here we have two complex QRS, and the distance in between them is equals 17 millimeters, or 0.68 seconds, or 680 milliseconds. So how we came to this conclusion? So this 17 millimeters equals 0.68 seconds. So this is because 17 times 0.04 seconds equals 0.68 seconds. Now, to figure out the heart rate, we can just remember that 1 minute equals 60 seconds. So if we divide the seconds in 1 minute divided the times something is happening, for example, 60 seconds divided 0.68 seconds, this will equal 88 times per minute, or 88 beats per minute. So we can calculate the heart rate very fast in this way. There are other ways to calculate. I think this is the easiest one. We also can use the small squares, and this will give you a faster approach. So one small square, or big square, equals 5 millimeters, or 0.2 seconds, or 200 milliseconds. And we can use the rule of the 300s. So the rule of the 300 is based that 5 millimeters, or a big square, equals 0.2 seconds, or 200 milliseconds. So if we divide the 60 seconds again, divided the time of each square, we will, and we count the squares in between two QRS, we can figure out how many times an event is happening every minute. For example, the heart rate. So if we calculate in between two R's, one square, so 1 square equals 0.2 seconds, so 60 divided 0.2 seconds equals 300. So the heart rate, or the frequency of the event in the squares, the big squares, will be, if it is just the distance between the events is 1 square, will be 300. Then if it is 2 squares, it's 60 divided 0.4 seconds, will be 150. Then 3 squares, 60 divided 0.6 second, will be 100, and so on. For example, 4 squares, 75, and then 5 squares will be 60, 6 squares will be 50, 7 squares in between will be 42, and 8 squares in between will be 37.5. So if you remember these numbers, like 1 square equal 300 rate per minute, 2 squares equal 150 rate per minute, 100 equal 3 squares equal 100 beats per minute, and 4 squares equal 75 beats per minute, and so on. You will be able to calculate very fast the heart rate. So for example, here we have an EKG, and we want to figure out what's the heart rate. So we will get an RR that is very close to the beginning of a big square, or 5 millimeters. So for the first square, if there was a next QRS, there will be 300, but because it's not 300, then if that was 2 squares, will be 150. But in this case, we have 3 squares from the first QRS, and that gives us an approximate heart rate of 100. And of course, there are other problems. For example, if you have a rhythm that is not constant, as we can see here, there are beats that are closer, or QRS complexes that are closer and farther in some places of this EKG. So a very fast and easy way to figure out the heart rate will be to see the last trace. So this last trace in our EKG machines here in America corresponds to 10 seconds. It's a long derivation too, and it's to see rhythm. So it's 10 seconds. So if you just count each QRS and then you figure out how many QRSs are in this strip. For example, here we have 22. So 22 beats every 10 seconds because it's 10 seconds for this is a standard thing. Then 1 minute has 60 seconds or 6 periods of 10 seconds. Then of course 22 times 6 equals 132. So we can have very fast the heart rate in our EKG machines. Of course, you can also figure out less, like a 6-second period, or you could figure out also calculate the distance between many of the QRSs and do a average, and this way you will have a heart rate. But this one I think is fairly easy. So like and share this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Check out my other videos. This was Christian Spanish Meet in my EKG course. This was heart rate. Thank you very much.